I am not exactly an Andrew Wilson fan. In fact, I made a hit piece on him where I made fun of him amongst many things for being a stepfather, made fun of his weight, his intelligence. I then proceeded to debate him where he interrupted my opening statement. He continued to interrupt and overtalk me throughout the beginning portion of the debate, and then of course proceeded to make a bunch of allegations during the debate that I was lying, engaging in bad faith, or what have you. So yeah, I'm not exactly an Andrew Wilson fan. Now, of course, Andrew Wilson, being Andrew Wilson, is now in the midst of yet another scandal. And unlike the previous ones, like the pickle jar or ditch licking scandal, if you don't know, those are hilarious, you should definitely check them out. But unlike those previous scandals, Andrew here is actually in the right. And more importantly, no matter how much you like or dislike him, it's really important that you admit that he's in the right. And the reason for this is because he's being accused of something horrible for the dumbest reason. He's being accused of being a rapist, and the basis for this is actually laughably fucking stupid.
Just worry immediately for your safety in that moment because of the fact that he's a rapist. Andrew Wilson's a rapist.
The accusation comes from the fact that Andrew said him and his wife both agree that they're fine with the other partner starting to have sex with them while they're still sleeping. Let's get the facts on the table. Consent to sex while asleep. The accusation is rape. Rape means sex without consent. We have consent, so where does the rape come in? Well, it must be not on behalf of the lack of consent part because we have that. So this idiot must sit there and think, oh, the consent requirement may have a check, but they're sleeping, and that somehow makes it rape? That somehow cancels out the consent? But obviously, that's not how it works. The fact that you're asleep doesn't cancel out consent you gave. Let's apply this logic more generally for a second. If you being not awake cancels out consent that you gave for something, what would that make surgeons? Oh no! Surgeons would be murderous mutilators that run around cutting people open without consent. People in excruciating conditions that sign waivers to have their life support pulled. Well, if their life support is pulled, when they're not awake, the puller of the life support is now a murderer, according to this logic. I guess we're gonna have to stay awake from now on during all our surgeries if we don't want the doctors to be mutilators and murderers. So not only is this logic or argument extremely stupid, but it serves as the basis for a heinous accusation being made against Andrew. Additionally, it was also said that Andrew is dangerous to be around.
Oh, interesting.
I just worry immediately for your safety in that moment.
But what's really funny is that, as far as I'm aware, Andrew has done hundreds of interviews or conversations, debates with people in person, and never once has anyone been physically harmed by Andrew. In fact, the one time I'm aware of that someone attacked Andrew, 1, could have easily beat the absolute crap out of the attacker, but furthermore, he just got up and walked away. So it's pure delusion to say that people are in physical danger for being in proximity to Andrew. He's had hundreds of conversations, never attacked anyone. When he gets attacked by someone he could easily overpower, he walks away. Calling out heinous and stupid allegations made against some political figure should be something that everyone is willing to do regardless of what side of the aisle you happen to fall on. Additionally, I think the best way to oppose somebody, in particular Andrew Wilson, is not by exaggerating or making up completely baseless lunatic accusations against him, but it's by actually critiquing the things that he does wrong and addressing those, rather than inventing stuff that he didn't do. If he's really a problem, which I think he is, it shouldn't be hard to actually stick to reality and criticize things that he actually does. If you need to start inventing things he's never done, or claim that he's something that he clearly isn't, then maybe he's not that bad. If he was that bad, you wouldn't need to invent crap. Or maybe you're just unable to contend with the actual things that you think are bad because you're too lazy or stupid to think of the things he's saying and come up with good counters. And it's just not a good strategy, independent of the fact that it's immoral, it's stupid, and you don't need to do it if the person is actually bad. It's also just ineffective. If you want to have influence on people that matter and not lunatics that have very little influence, you need to engage with reality and not make up fantasies. And that's why anyone should be willing to call this crap out for what it is. It's a lie, it's stupid, it's not helpful, it's not productive, and it's not what we should be focusing on. With that being said, maybe I'll go back to criticizing Andrew for some of his views that are worth criticizing. We'll see. Till then, thanks for watching.